What's up, everybody? All the Rage here, coming at you today with a brand new video. So today I have something a little bit special for you. So to preface this video, before we get started into anything, my full-time job, I am a retail store employee. I am a hourly supervisor at one. And to preface this entire video, the other day while I was at work, one of my co-workers, who happens to also be an hourly supervisor, came and approached me in the area in which I work, in our back room, and told me he wanted to show me something. That said thing is right here on the table next to me. This is what appears to be an essay that somebody wrote. I've blacked out their first name just to protect their privacy. But you can see right here, this is what appears to be an essay. The essay is titled "A Day in the Life of a Thought Criminal." So my coworker approaches me with this thing and says, "Hey, you want to see this thing that I found in a break pack, which is something that our retail company uses to basically send merchandise to us on our trucks when they deliver merchandise to us, like loose things that aren't in a full case quantity." So he allegedly found this in a break pack of merchandise that was behind the counter where he works on the sales floor. We don't know why it was in there. We don't know where it came from, how it made its way in there. All we know is that it was in there, and he approached me with this and showed it to me. And I said, "Well, what is it?" He goes, "Well, it appears to be an essay that somebody wrote titled "A Day in the Life of a Thought Criminal." And it kind of goes into some like tinfoil hat shit." So I said, "Oh, perfect." I kind of needed a good laugh for the day, so I asked him if I could keep it so I could read it. And I have read this in its entirety, and it is pretty wild. So I figured we'd do something a little bit fun, and I think I'd read it to you on camera. We're gonna probably do this like in installments, so it's not just one big long video. But like I said, I have read this in its entirety, and it is pretty wild, pretty hilarious, definitely pretty tinfoil hatty, if you ask me. So I figured we'd do something fun, and I'm gonna read this for you on camera in chapters, I guess. So we'll break the video up into chapters, and I'll read it out loud to you guys. But I think something's missing. I think we need to kind of do something to set the mood and set the tone. So I think I have just the thing. Yes, I think that's much better. So I think we're ready to begin now. So let us start our journey down A Day in the Life of a Thought Criminal by Mr. Nute. Let me just wet my whistle and we'll begin. In an attempt to prove the need for anarchy, I am documenting a typical day in my life. Anarchy is the only way to combat the power mad. In the movie version of George Orwell's 1984, starring John Hurt and Richard Burton, Winston goes into O'Brien's office and they have this conversation. O'Brien says, "Sit down, Winston. There are thought criminals that maintain the resistance is not real, but believe me, Winston, it is very real. Perhaps you're not familiar with how it operates." Winston says, "I'm attentive to the news." O'Brien says, "Indeed. Then perhaps you imagine a huge network of conspirators and saboteurs willing to do anything to weaken and demoralize the order of our society. The reality is infinitely more subtle. If Goldstein himself were to fall in the hands of the thought police, he could not provide them with a list of his followers. Such a list does not exist. They're not an organization in the sense as we know it. Nothing holds them together but an idea. They know there is no possibility of change in their lifetime. In the face of the thought police, they cannot act collectively. Individually, they cheat, forge, blackmail, corrupt children, spread disease, prostitution in the name of spreading knowledge from generation to generation until in 1,000 years, well, O'Brien hands Winston a book and he leaves. Earlier in the movie, Winston stands looking out a window and thinks this: if there's hope, it lies with the proletariat. If they could be made aware of their strength, there would be no need to conspire. I don't know what this means. The day begins. I get out of bed around 5 o'clock. I don't really sleep, it's more like unconscious time. Sleep deprivation never ends. The main problem is that there is some kind of chemical in the mattress. I've tried vacuuming the mattress, but it doesn't get it all. Anytime I leave my apartment, someone enters and puts it back. The sheets are also a problem, and the laundry doesn't help. I have a large collection of plastic sheets, such as shower curtains, trash bags, painter's drop cloths, and tops. I've bought over the years to sleep on top of. You can rinse them off in the shower, but if necessary, duct taping boxes together can help. Most of the time I'm forced to sleep in my clothes. If I wear them long enough, the chicken shit wears out. Anxiety and depression add to the sleep problem. For the most part, I'm a machine head. You can't completely remove emotion. Sleep's overrated anyway, although unconscious is the only way to experience this world. Yeah. The first thing I do is turn on the stupid vision. It's a really nasty habit, but I do it anyway. My only friend, is a box, but I'm too old to change. It doesn't take long before the messages come through. The first is a story about the state wanting to ban nips in liquor stores. The bottles are a major litter problem. I decide I don't want to stare at my box all day, so I get cleaned up despite the fact the water is crap. I sit down and figure out where I want to go. I make a playlist on my iPod named Doggone R and put some dog songs in it. Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, Bad Little Doggy by Government Mule, and Nasty Dogs and Funky Kings by ZZ Top. Then I add some D-Day songs. Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who, Bullet to the Blue Sky by U2, and New Year's Day by U2. D-Day is what I call them. They're about the day the New World Order comes out of the closet. I decide to go to Boston, but I wait for the sun to rise. You have to maintain a sense of humor. It's also completely insane. I go across the street to wait for the bus. Next to a tree where I'm standing is about a dozen empty nip bottles. They weren't there yesterday. I believe artists use certain symbols to represent people who want to be free. Asian people are one of them. Gamblers and people from New Orleans are two more. Two examples are China Grove, a song by the Doobie Brothers, and I Think I'm Turning Japanese, a song by the Vapors. The bottles could be interpreted as a threat by Radiohead Rolling Stones aimed at me. I get on the red line at Braintree. Braintree is the last stop, so the train sits idle while people board and wait for it to leave. Most of the time there's only a few people on the train. I usually pick a seat away from everyone else. The day's harassment really began the night before. While watching my box, there was a program with a very attractive blonde girl dressed in cutoffs and a halter. Not long after taking my seat, a girl dressed similarly got on the train and took a seat across from me. She had a purse with a dog logo and a dog t-shirt. I do what I can to ignore her. I get off at Park Street and decide to sit and people watch for a while. Sometimes I do guess that relationship. Other times I just think nasty things about everyone. Okay, well, most of the time I think nasty things. It comes with the territory. I'm a nasty, angry, negative, cynical, obnoxious, eccentric Yankee. Nobody likes me, but it works for me. My latest little ditty is Keeping America Beautiful, Stop Eating. Before I leave, a couple more scantily clad blonde girls walk by. Alice in Wonderland is an adultery. I decide to get a latte. It always has some kind of chicken shit in it, but I do it anyway. The chicken shit usually causes some sort of butt plug. Once it's in, it's very hard to get out. It gums up the works for a week. Sometimes you can taste it, but the sugar helps it go down, like Mary Poppins. I sometimes wonder if I'm the only one who gets the crap. The order comes in to the barista via satellite. If they did it to everyone, you would think the place would go out of business. Another blonde girl is in front of me in line. I go back to the common and watch some more. And I think that's where we'll end chapter 1 of A Day in the Life of a Thought Criminal by Mr. Nute. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up to show that you enjoyed it, and leave me some comments in the comment section down below to let me know what you thought. And tune in for chapter 2 next time. Thank you very much for watching.